We have already learned about mechanics of materials and why it is important for engineering students. Here, we are going to talk about the course format and the learning model, as well as some tips on how to be successful in this course. In a traditional teaching format, instructors give the lecture during the class time, and after that, students try to apply what they have learned in solving homework problems or other assignments. One common problem with this model is that the content seems easy when it's given by the instructor, but once students try to apply that in solving problems, they would face some challenges. Learning is not a passive process, but learning takes place when someone has a question and is actively looking for the answer of that question. In a blended format which is used in this course, students are first exposed to the content before coming to class. The lecture is given online and students need to try to solve some problems, to face the challenges, and come to class with questions. The class time is used for answering students' questions and help them in filling the gap in their knowledge. After class, students can check their understanding by reviewing the content and practicing extra problems. The learning resources could be accessed through the course website. Let's look into a study that contains the learning modules. Each learning module consists of few short videos followed by some questions. At the end of each module, there is a place for asking questions or participating in discussions. The videos, some of which are recorded in class and some others recorded in office, are intentionally short to make them efficient. They typically include lecture, following by some examples. While watching the videos, you can pause and write notes, or save it and watch it later. After watching the videos, the questions will be available for you to practice. The videos should be watched before the due date. The questions should be also taken before the due date. But for numerical questions, if you try them and cannot get the answer of those problems, that's fine. We can discuss about those questions in the class or in the discussion part or even during the office hours to make sure that you understand how to solve those problems. In addition, for some of those problems, I also provide detailed videos on how to solve them. You can retake those problems up to 48 hours after the due date without penalty. The goal is to make sure that everyone has the chance to get 100% in those assignments. When you're trying to solve those problems, it is absolutely fine if you don't know how to solve some of those problems, or there are some challenges that you are facing with. In fact, the problems are designed in a way to raise some questions, to challenge students, and make them curious about the answer of those questions. This is where we get to the second component of the blended learning, which is activating your knowledge, where you would have a chance to ask your questions, share your ideas, and resolve any problem that you faced with. This part is going to be done in a little bit different way because of the current COVID situation that may prevent us from direct in-person interaction. So we have to utilize some online tools in order to facilitate our interaction while keeping safe distancing. The key is maintaining the active participation in your learning process by interacting with your peers, by asking your questions, or by answering someone else's questions. In addition to the general discussion, by the end of each learning module, each numerical question has its own discussion place, where you can ask your question related to that particular problem, or share your tips and ideas on how to solve that with your peers. And the good news is, there will be some bonus points for those who are active on the discussion. The last component is practice problems for reinforcing your knowledge and learning the material deeper. The problems that are given on the study section are the minimum number of problems that you need to start with, but they may not be sufficient for fully learning the content. Trying more problems allows for practicing problem-solving skills instead of memorizing limited number of problems. That helps improving higher-level thinking and deeper learning. Now let's look into some of the resources that are available on the course website. First, let's look into the syllabus that you can find it under the references. On the syllabus, you can find information about the course, the exam dates, the grading policy, and other useful information. Under equations, you can find some information like the formula sheets that will be provided during the exam, and section properties for the simple shapes, for steel shapes, and also properties of materials. Also here you can find links to the YouTube channel, MakeMovie, Canvas, and some useful textbooks. MakeMovie is a learning tool that is created by Dr. Philpott. Unfortunately, it is using Flash, which is not supported in the modern browser, but you can find a workaround by enabling Flash on your browser. It contains several worked out problems and animations to help you understand the concepts better. You can also find a link to the Mechanics of Materials textbook written by Dr. Philpott, which is a great textbook. Also, you can find links to Mechanics of Materials Learning Through Practice ebook that works on Apple devices. If you have iPad or iPhone, you can bring your own device to my office and I will transfer the book to your device for free. The lecture notes can be found under study materials, which are organized based on 10 different chapters. In addition, the videos associated with that chapter could be found under the Video tab. Also, there are some extra practice problems that you can download, print, and solve manually. Solutions are also available that you can compare your solution with mine. There are some other resources and tools available that you can discover yourself. All of these 3 components are essential in the learning, but just the first part is mandatory, which is doing the learning module before the class starts. The in-class activities and extra practice problems are optional, but highly recommended. There are plenty of resources available and students can choose the one that is matching best their learning style. Also, they can choose the pace by which they want to study. But this control over choosing the resources and pace of study comes with extra responsibility, because their success relies on the proper usage of the learning components. So this introductory video is getting longer than what I initially intended it to be, and I didn't have a chance to talk about myself. Maybe later on I would do that. But let me tell you my personal story when I took Mechanics of Materials. I remember how challenging the course was for me back then. I really liked the content, but I didn't have that much time to study it, or better say, I was so distracted. I managed to pass the course, but later on, when I took higher level courses, I found that many of those courses requires a solid foundation of Mechanics of Materials, so I had to get back to my notes and my book and relearn the content in order to be successful in the higher level courses. I don't want to sound like an old man who is giving a piece of advice, but I think based on my personal experience, it's fair to say that you're gonna learn this content now or later. It's up to you to decide when you want to invest in this course and learn it. So I'm here to help you be successful in this course, not by lowering standards, but by keeping the standards at a high level, but trying to provide you with the support and resources in order to be successful. So let me know what is working best for you and what should be done in order to improve our experience. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the first lecture of Mechanics of Materials.